What's up, guys? I just received the USB pass-through door for the GoPro, my HERO11 Mini, and I wanted to put together a quick video to talk about particularly charging or using an external power source with my GoPro, particularly for cycling, road cycling and mountain biking. So I've been through different solutions with the different GoPros. Particularly the ones I've been using the most were HERO7 and HERO9, HERO10. And initially what I used was the just a replacement door, so that I could plug in my the USB port and be able to run the GoPro on an external battery that allowed me to record for hours and hours. But basically you can't just remove the door or leave the door on and just ride like that with the cable plugged in. Particularly with these models, the door is the same for the cable, the SD card, and the battery. So the battery would just come out. So you would have to ride without the internal battery and use only the external. But still, you would have, all kinds of dust and contaminants and whatever go in there. So the first solution I used was use one of these doors, aftermarket doors, that have an opening for the cable. So basically you clip that door in and close it just like a regular door, but it lets you connect the cable and use the GoPro basically just like this, plugged in into some kind of external power supply. And that way, if you have a SD card that's big enough, you can record for hours and hours. So that's what I've been using first. Worked great on the mountain bike. The main issue I was having is the wind noise with the on the road bike, going downhill. Even on mountain bike, if you go downhill fast enough, you'll get a lot of road noise. So from there, basically, what I did is I switched to the media mod. Just use the regular door and put the GoPro in the media mode. So actually it worked without the door, I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. So one trick is, always remember which way it goes in there. The easy way is look at where the USB connector is in the media mode, where the USB connector is in the GoPro, and it can only go one way. So make sure that's lined up, and boom, you're good to go. And then you can plug the power source to the connector in the back. And I've been doing most of my recording. I record a lot of cycling videos for Kinomap. I put some on YouTube, but 90% of my videos are only on Kinomap. And that's what I've been using, and it's been working great. I'll show you how that works on the bikes. But before I do that, since really the purpose of the video is the HERO Mini, HERO11 Mini, and the new pass-through door, I'm gonna show you how that works. So So here's the USB pass-through door that I received. It's very simple. There's just a cable and a replacement door with an opening, and it has that rubber part in it so that the dust and moisture doesn't come through. So it's very similar in terms of replacing the door as the previous, or the full-size HERO cameras. You just pull the regular door out and clip the new one in. And that's it. And as you can see, probably, hopefully, the USB port is exposed, but it's there's that rubber gasket, and it holds in there very well. And yeah, there you go. Then you can run. Now I can run my Mini with the external battery plugged in. Remaining is still the issue of the wind noise. So I can use like dead cats and stuff like that, but I'm not a big fan of those. They're all over the GoPro, and then there's glue all over, and it's kind of messy. So we'll see how it works the way it is. I haven't used it, I just received it. And then we'll see from there if I want to make changes. So now let's move on to mounting on the bike and see how that works on the bike. So I told you guys I was going to show you how that works on the bike. So here's my my Mini. By the way, that's one of my issues with the. I've been having that with the 11, actually the HERO10, and the Mini. It does the same. I plugged in the external power for a minute or two, and then unplugged it, and it's frozen. And it's been doing that regularly. There's been an issue with the latest generation GoPro apparently, and the 11 Mini has that problem as well. Eventually it will reset, but basically I can't use it right now. I just have to wait. So in any case, this is the setup, like kind of a more road bike setup. I use this mount so that the GoPro is a little bit higher. I can use either this way or use the back to have the GoPro even further forward. The reason why I want the GoPro forward is I have that huge Garmin 1040, Garmin Edge 1040, and if my GoPro is on top of the handlebar, I will see it on the video. So I need to move the camera forward so I don't see it. And then I have my battery in here. There, it's fully charged. And I will just, usually I do like a couple twists, or I obviously secure the cable a bit better than that, but just for the purpose of the video, plug it in and we're good to go. So that's the setup on the road bike. So here's my setup on the mountain bike. It's a little bit different. I can't really put the battery on the top tube, or if you want to call that, on top of the frame rather. And so what I've done is just put the battery attached to the handlebar under the handlebar right there, And the second difference is I don't use a mount that extends as far forward, just because I'm more likely to crash there and I don't want the camera to be that exposed. So I keep it close to the handlebar. And for the rest is basically the same idea. I'll mount it, let's say like this, and then plug the cable from the battery, and the Garmin is on the other side. That's basically the mountain bike setup. So again, on the mountain bike, I want the GoPro to be closer to the handlebar, just because I don't want it to be too exposed, hit branches or crashes, whatnot. On the road bike, I can put basically use a mount that's a little bit extended, a little bit further forward and up. I like having, whenever possible, I like having the GoPro as high as possible to get a better view. The higher up it is, the better it's going to be. But I'm not doing it on the handle bike, on the mountain bike. So there it is, guys. That's basically how I mount my GoPros for mountain biking and road biking, and the new pass-through door for the HERO11 Mini. And it's still stuck, by the way. So usually I haven't looked it up how you're supposed to reset it, but I think what seems to work is a long press on both buttons. Let's see if that's gonna do it this time. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to look at the manual, obviously, but that's what I've been doing, is just press the button in the front and the button at the top, both at the same time for a few seconds. And basically now it should, yeah, it comes on and off normally and records and everything. So it's back in business.